Hi, Mike DePung here at Spirit Hill, Spirit Healing in and into love and light. Um, and that comes in a lot of ways, that healing. I share these videos. I made this channel for you. Whoever you are here listening, however you got here, I welcome you and I am grateful that you're here. And I think that we all need healing. It's one of the reasons I do this channel. We need healing because it's part of why we came. We experienced trauma, and we didn't necessarily come for all these specific traumas, but we do because we come here as expressions of Spirit Incarnate. And that Spirit Incarnate means that the incarnate part means we had to have ego because we were going to be here with other beings of the same form as we are. And that, with our brains and our psychological, physical, complete makeup as a creature, as a being, means that we have to get along. We have to relate to one another. Ego was necessary for that because of physical form. But we knew inherent with ego would come wounds, would come encounters with things that some come to, and I guess we all do at some point, think of as bad things or as unpleasant things. It doesn't matter what it is. The point is that we all are in need of healing so that we can enjoy all the things we came here to enjoy. And that's part of it all. It's part of the grand design that we entered into, that we were part of co-creating. We are Spirit Incarnate. And all the rest of nature about us in this middle world has this spirit nature also. It's expressing spirit in different forms. And so because of the way things are in the world today, and there are so many who think that maybe this kind of talk excludes intelligence, it excludes education, it excludes the ability to think and reason. No, it doesn't. But I will say this, that many times that sort of thing has gotten in the way for the mass of people, for the collective expression of us, to discount what many peoples of old knew, that spirit is all about us and is accessible, that there are unseen worlds besides this middle world that is seen to us, and that there are unseen energies and entities from those worlds and here in this world that are here for us. But we have to learn for our healing to call on these things. And because of wars and unpleasantness and just so many things that I could describe, that I look at it as just people who are involved in expressing lower life energies, who have sold out in some cases to ego, or who just allow ego to operate by default, which means we don't get the joys. We don't get to experience the joys of why we came here. We don't get to experience the full range of the higher vibrations of life that we came here to know, to explore things and wonder, and to discover things and share those discoveries, and to face the things that are challenges and the things that are traumas and wounds to us personally and to us as a society. Because of all that's going on today, and it seems like it's coming to a head, because I think that there's this awakening going on, an awakening love that realizes who we are, that you and I are Spirit Incarnate, that we are divinity, and that there is this great opportunity for us to know, and to know all of the wonders that are about us, and to connect with all these other expressions of spirit. And it gives me great happiness to do so. It doesn't mean that we don't go through darkness, and that darkness isn't a rich part of our experience, because it is. And so what I want to begin sharing with you today, and I'm going to probably do a series of these things, is the very practical way. Well, let me just put it this way. I want to take you on a journey with me, going all the way back to my childhood, that kind of began this, helped me to arrive at the place I am now. So here's what I want to do. I want to you to imagine me as about a 9-year-old boy, one who experienced trauma because of my childhood, because of the way things were. I grew up in a 4-room apartment, and I don't need to describe all of it to you, but it wasn't the most pleasant experience. And we lived in this apartment complex where I lived by these railroad tracks, and there were 3 lines that were like major lines, and there was a one sideline that went to a little factory down the way. In between these two sets of rail lines was this place that I used to call the woods. It was a lot of overgrowth. There was a lot of reedy stalks, probably types of bamboo that were growing there. But at any rate, I used to, in essence, escape there. It seemed like it was a place I could think, and it always seemed like there were things, something, some consciousness with me. And as a 9 or 10-year-old, I didn't think that. I just knew it felt like I was safe there. And so for a couple of years, we had lived at this place, and it was, I had actually built a little shelter in this area. And I built it because it was just my place to escape. And one day, as I was crossing the railroad tracks, I kind of scuffed the dirt in between the railroad ties, and I saw a little bit of something, the edge of something sticking up, and it was kind of a pretty pinkish color. And I thought, what is that? And I'd never seen it before. I went the same path every time I went there. I just happened to scuff the dirt with my shoe. And that little thing, whatever it was, seemed to want me to dig it up, to get it free. And so I just bent down. I thought I'd be able to pick it up, pick it out, pull it out. I couldn't. It was almost like it was cemented in. And so I tried to dig with my fingers, and I dug and I dug and I dug. I couldn't get it out. And I realized it didn't seem like it was that big, but maybe it was just the top of something. So I dug more, and I realized I got to get another rock to help clear away some of this dirt. And so I did it, and I scraped, and I scraped, and I scraped, and I finally got it. Now remember, I was 9 or 10 years old, so it wasn't really all that much work for an adult, but it was for me. And when I pulled it out, it was really dirty, and I couldn't tell much what it was. So of course, as a 9 or 10-year-old, what do you do to clean something off? You spit on it. And so I spit on it, wiped. I couldn't get it off. It was like really caked on this muddy dirt type stuff. So I thought, this thing, whatever it is, this rock wants me to take it home. This little stone wants me to take it home and clean it off. So I took it, and I was so proud that I had this thing, that I had gotten it up. And I went into the bathroom, and I started cleaning it, washing it, rinsing it under the faucet. And it needed some soap even to help it come clean. And finally I got it clean, and I took a towel and I was wiping it off. And it slipped out of my hands, and it hit the floor, and it split in 2. I was kind of upset at first until I bent down and picked it up, and I put it together, and I realized it fits perfectly. There was not a chip out of it. It was just, this was in part the beginning of my healing journey over the course of many decades now. And even though I can't say, hey, that this was an awakening, it wasn't. Except for the fact that I realized somehow, some way deep in my heart, that I was supposed to pick this stone up. And this is something I would like to communicate to you directly. Nothing is wasted in this life. What you have experienced, you've experienced because whether you're consciously aware of it or not, you've brought it into your experience. And it's nothing to fear, it's nothing to ridicule. If you can't face that, then you definitely need to explore yourself, explore your own heart, explore who you are. But that was the beginning, part of the beginning of it for me, where there was this conscious call that this thing that was just barely poking out of the ground wanted me to pick it up and to know it. And I valued it and I treasured it. And I've kept it all these years. And it's part now of a nightly ceremony that I keep. And I hope to work up to that to show you all the things involved with that, why that is so precious, why it's part of my healing now. But here is what I found. And I'm going to try to put it together so that you can see how perfect it is. And it's hard because I have to hold it together. It's an arrowhead. It was an arrowhead in developed South St. Louis, poking between two ties of a railroad, two railroad ties. And I picked it up, and like I said, I had washed it, and after washing it, I discovered that it was this beautiful pink flint, tooled and pretty awesome. And then you can see the break there. Perfect. Yes, we experience trauma, we experience breaks, but we can be healed. This isn't together physically, but it's complete in terms of its spirit essence. This arrowhead contained spirit essence, and it wanted me to know it. It wanted me to pick it up. I've held on to this for decades. I won't say how long, because maybe some of you don't know how old I am, but it's been quite a few decades. And this is what I would encourage you to do from this, since nothing is wasted. Maybe you have things that you've kept from your childhood that somehow spoke to you, that somehow has this awesome significance. Go one step further than just saying it's sentimental. Ask what it has to teach you. Ask what energy is there, what spirit is there to help you realize who you are, to begin a real deep healing journey for yourself. And maybe you don't have anything like that. Well, you know what? Go outside, get into nature where you can know that spirit is all around in all the expressions of flowers and plants and stones and rocks and animals and insects. It's a good place to start in nature. Ask. Tell whatever it is that attracts you, that draws you, that says, here I am, grab me, pick me up. Tell, I recognize spirit in you. What do you want me to know? And start seeing, start listening to your own heart, because that heart is the essence. It is the counter pole of ego and heart. And this polarity, I think in the last video I might have even mentioned it, can be reconciled. It creates a magnetic field, in essence, like there is around the earth. If you've ever seen all the concentric lines of polarity, of magnetic field that comes from the geographic poles. We have ego and heart within us that reflect so much of what we are, because we are all as spirit, reflects the same kinds of patterns. Now I want to share something further with you, because I'm not right now at my home, my normal home. I'm in Florida, in fact, and I asked for spirit down here, for the energies of the unseens down here, to help me to relate to them, to be able to carry out my ceremony in a way that's harmonious with spirits that are here. Because I want to know, I want to get the fullness of this experience. And guess what I got? Do you see this? I hope you can see this. It's a heron feather, and heron spoke to me. And there's significance for these things, for the energies of birds, for the energies of plants and stones and crystals of different sorts. There are these energies that they carry. There are spirit energies. And heron said, hey, here I am, blue heron. gave me this, because I had seen them several times along the beach where I had walked previously. And I thought I would never get a feather from them because it didn't look like they had very substantial feathers. They're not like feathers of birds like where I'm from. Well, even though there are herons in Missouri, but not so numerous as I see here just on the beach. And so I got this feather when I went back to my car, and I thought, all done for the day. And I looked down as I'm shaking sand out of my sandal, and here this feather is right at my feet. And so that's what spirit can do. And so what does it do? What does it do for healing? Well, it tells me about the energy of the heron, who is between heaven and earth, who stands in the water, who fishes in from its standing position. And this heron has the ability of, has the energy of living independently, living on its own, making its own way, being its own creature, and expressing self in a very powerful way. And so, in a leadership way, in a way that doesn't fall into place with the rest of the bird kingdom, even though there are other birds that have the same sort of energy, but this one is very majestic. So, certain energies for me that resonate with me. There may be some of this that resonates with you. Maybe you have some of these little artifacts from your childhood, something that you found recently, something that you found along the way from months ago to years ago, that you can address and recognize. I have spirit in me, my heart, and I want to connect with spirit in you. What do you have to show me? There are resources. Today we have the internet, and you can look up, if you know what kind of item you have, you can look up the spiritual significance of whatever it is, and take what resonates with you, what rings true, that's harmonious with yourself, and go from there. Learn yourself, because the idea is that we learn respect and balance for ourselves, for our own ego and heart, respect and balance for spirit expression all about us, and to learn to live in respect and balance with one another. And wow, if there's one thing that we need in this day and age, in the collective expression, is to live in respect and balance with one another, because that's love. That's the love of Grandmother Earth. That's the love that she teaches us, that respect and balance is unconditional. So I'm going to leave it there today. There's a lot more I can say. I've said a lot more than I thought I was going to. I'm not even sure how this is going to play out, but I offer it to you in love, from me to you. Until next time, love and peace.